This cutting was a little dehydrated when I got it, and I wasn't sure if it would survive. As you can see, the leaves are very thin and not very healthy, but it does have a bunch of new growth on it, which I was super excited about. However, as I started examining it more closely, you can see it actually has mealybugs. What first clued me in was this little puff of fuzz. That is a very good indicator that you have a succulent with mealybugs. The mealybugs hide in this little white fuzzy stuff, and they eat your succulents. Once I saw that, I started examining this a lot more closely and realized there were mealybugs all over the stem. Some were buried in fuzz and some were not. After seeing mealybugs on the other cutting, I decided to take a closer look at the succulents nearby, and sure enough, I found mealybugs on those as well. After a lot of time and effort treating a powdery mildew outbreak I had a few months ago, it is not worth the effort to me to treat these plants for the mealybugs, to try and kill the mealybugs both on the plants and in the soil, so I am going to throw them away. It will probably make some of you mad that I'm throwing them away, but it's just not worth the time, the effort, the cost, and the risk that a bunch of my other succulents start to get mealybugs. I don't have a great place to isolate my plants. If I did, I might be more inclined to treat them, but this plant is so covered with mealybugs, it will take a really long time to ensure that every little mealybug is gone. Most of the plants on the shelf next to these succulents were actually these smooth Haworthia, and I even found a few mealybugs on these. Typically, I've not seen mealybugs on Haworthia, partly because a lot of them have a really rough texture to the leaves, and I don't think the mealybugs like that. However, I did closely examine all of these nearby and did find some mealybugs on these as well. For these particular plants, because I only found 1 or 2 mealybugs, I am not going to toss these. However, I am going to put worm castings on top of the soil just to get rid of any mealybugs that might be in there. The worm casting seems to kind of suffocate them, or at least prevent them from spreading. I'm going to put it all around. You really can't put too much of this on, which is one of the things that I love about it. It acts as a fertilizer as well as a pest preventative. It helps keep the soil really healthy. It does retain more water than my gritty mix, so I will need to be a little bit careful not to water too frequently with this, but it's really easy to see when it's on top of the soil, and it's a good reminder to water less frequently. Anytime I add worm castings, I will go ahead and just add it as a fertilizer here. And that way I know how often I've applied it. In this case, I'm also going to mark it as treated for pests because I did spray this with alcohol. The great thing is I can always come back in here and see what I've done, so it's not a guessing game. I can see every single time I have added something or watered this plant. I also like to add a photo anytime I make a decent change to my plant. And then I can see the history and progression of the plant over time. The other thing on the shelf next to the plants that were affected with mealybugs are these leaf propagations. This is an experiment I'm running. I just dropped a bunch of leaves into this tray. It got watered by accident one time, but other than that, it has not been watered at all. I just wanted to see how well these leaves would grow with no input or help from me. They're actually growing really well, except for these now have mealybugs too. Even though I love this experiment and I want to keep it going, it is not worth keeping these itty bitty leaves that have mealybugs all in the roots. I'm going to carefully examine each one of these, and if there is any sign of mealybug, even these itty bitty ones, then they will be thrown out. With the leaf propagations, isopropyl alcohol can dehydrate the roots, which make the plant survival a lot less likely. And I have plenty of plants, so I don't need the propagations. I don't need to expand my collection. Again, it is just not worth the risk of these mealybugs spreading to other plants in my garden. As you can see, they've already spread to a bunch of different plants, and I've been keeping a fairly close eye on these. So even though this didn't come out of nowhere, it did happen pretty quickly, just over the course of maybe 2 weeks. Also, realize you're seeing these very close up on a macro camera lens. This is how big these plants are. So far, every single leaf I've pulled out has had a mealybug on it. So I don't think it's worth checking the rest of these. I am just gonna give you a little overview of what they look like just for the sake of the experiment, but they will all go in the trash. This experiment went really well overall until mealybugs got the best of it. But you can see some of the parent leaves dried up and the babies put off a bunch of roots. But we also have some that only put off roots and no plant baby. Again, here's another one where the mother leaf shriveled up. And then we also have some where the mother leaf is still intact, the baby has roots, and it's still growing. So these would continue to grow as they are. It is interesting just to see how many of these grew with roots and no babies. Sometimes if you rip off the roots, then a new baby can form, and sometimes the leaves just put off new roots and never grow a baby. Check this out. We also have a leaf that has not grown anything, roots or baby. There's just a really wide variety of growth, and all of these were put in here at the exact same time. Again, they didn't get any water other than one accidental little spritz, and they have been growing for quite a while under my grow lights. There's a few more in here that didn't grow roots, and a few more that did. This leaf, I think, is particularly interesting though. It makes me wonder if this plant was actually overwatered to begin with. So you can see how this leaf turned kind of purpley, dark, black sort of color. Typically, I would say that is a sign of an overwatered plant. But considering that these never got any water, it is really odd for the leaf to then become rotten. So my guess with this is that the mother leaf was actually not healthy to begin with, and yet it still put off a little baby. Here's another leaf that's kind of that way. It's just a little bit dark and purple. Again, it's possible that the mother leaf was a little bit unhealthy before it was removed. And it's also possible just that one time of watering was too much. It could also be that these just dried up and they maybe were just darker in the first place. And so they maintained that darker color when they shriveled up. However, if we compare these two, this one on the left looks like a normal shriveled up succulent leaf that has just dried out. And you can see this one just has a little bit more yellowy, kind of purple, less healthy looking color to it. If I pull these leaves up in the Succulent Tracker app, you can see they were last watered 78 days ago. That was the day I accidentally spritzed them with water. But otherwise, they really have not had any water, but they have continued to grow pretty well. Here's what they looked like originally, just plain leaves with no babies or roots on any of them. Keeping this under the grow lights definitely helped to keep the new growth compact, even though these were kind of stacked on top of each other. It's sad that these will now all be thrown away because of the mealybugs. However, this was a really fun experiment and likely something I will try again.